Welcome back to Size Previews. As always, I'm Lee Matthews, joined by Chris Spin, so sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So we're going to start this episode with something a little bit different, and we may have said that before, but
I always say a little bit different, but this is a little bit different.
I don't think we've ever shown this brand on previews ever.
Once, I think.
Did we?
Yeah, in 2020, I think we had one project with this brand before, but nothing that was as good as this one.
No. So here we go. This is with Clark's Originals, and it's our take on the iconic Wallabee.
I think with this one, we always say this, it's like a catchphrase and it's all about the details in it, but the storytelling around this is that Clark's originally from Glastonbury. You didn't know that? I'm guessing a lot of people knew that out there. What we wanted to do is tell the story of Glastonbury as a place rather than, I mean, we know it's synonymous with a festival. We wanted to talk about it as a place. It's quite a magical place. I mean, you're going to have to Google it because some of the stuff about
that's more your catchphrase.
What?
You're going to have to Google it?
Yeah, I should keep that as a catchphrase. But you're going to have to Google it because there's some mad stuff around it. Apparently, like the Holy Grails buried under the tor and stuff like that. Mad stuff, like mythical stuff. But we wanted to really bring that to life in the shoes and give the shoes that kind of magical, almost hippie-esque feel. So you can see on the toe down here, we've got this kind of real floral pattern, which did take us a while to kind of get right. Yeah. It took us a while to get right.
It's nice and subtle though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And what we wanted to make it, even though it is that hippie kind of feel, we wanted to still make it pretty easy to wear, I would say, and just a really, really strong colourway. And for me, I'm not seeing a kind of Wallabee, just a plain Wallabee in this type group for a long time. So it's just nice to have something that's easy to wear, but then really like little details on the shoe.
Yeah, and I think it's you take away the detail. Yeah. A hairy suede, like forest green Wallabee, to have it. I wear the Sam Wallabee all the time, yeah. But it's like, what would make me want to buy another Wallabee or wear another Wallabee?
Exactly.
This is it.
It just takes it that little bit of that little level more without it being too out there kind of thing. I mean, we talked about the last collaboration, that was a little bit too out there, I would say. Was it too out there? It was just a celebration of size, but
it was bold.
It was a little bit, more difficult to wear, whereas this one's not. And then we've ramped it up but we've got also, I mean, you normally introduce the box, but I'll do it this time.
Okay.
So we've ramped it up, we've also got the pattern coming onto the box as well, so you can see got that size specific box. I think across the shoe it's great. I think we've got little tassels on the laces as well, if you like that. So I mean, overall for me, it's a great shoe, and like I say, it's really celebrating Glastonbury's place, which you're going to have to go and Google it, but you do have to go and Google to believe some of the stories about the place.
Yeah, you've played at Glastonbury, haven't you?
I played at Glastonbury, yeah, I've done it in 2005. I don't think a lot of people know this.
So you can edit that out. So next up is a shoe that's actually launched, so you'll have actually seen this already, but we've not spoken about one of these episodes before, and it's the final instalment in our all-team series, and it's the all brown. And when we said it last time, we probably did save the best till last on this one.
I think we did do, yeah. I mean, we know it's already out there, you've seen it, and this is almost about showing you new things that are coming, but we needed to talk about it because this is actually, like you said, this is actually the last one this time, do you mean? So I did like the white all-team we've just previously done, but this is probably one of the stronger ones. I think whenever we get them real premium levers on these kinds of shoes with that toe down, it really works, and it's just something about it. It reminds me a little bit of the Baltic Cup we did 2020.
It is, so we'll take you back to 2020. Obviously, we brought out the 3 island-inspired Baltic Cups. Now, this one was Valencia, and the reaction when we dropped that in 2020 was crazy. It's actually the same material, the same leather, the same colour, the same everything as that Valencia Baltic Cup. So for us, we felt what a better way to tell the story was that shape. And I mean, the toe down's the same as well as the Baltic Cup. It looks brilliant.
I think what this shoe's enabled us to do is bring out leather versions, because it's always a little bit more controversial. We said that about the 2020 City Series as well with the Stuttgart. Leather's always a bit more controversial in these shoes. People prefer suedes. I think this shoe takes leather really well, and I think, like you said, all the ones we've done, the all-team black, the all-team white, this one, have been really, really strong. And the materials, again, always spot on, always really, really strong.
And there's a lot, obviously we've spoken about at length about the way that Terrace is now crossing over multiple consumers. There's a lot of suede iterations out there.
Exactly.
There's a lot of T-toe out there. It's just something completely different. I think that's why we really like it.
Yeah.
So next up, I'd say it's another first.
This is definitely a first.
because we're going to now have a couple of Birkenstock Bostons to show you. And I mean, these two are very special, aren't they?
Oh, these are really strong. For me, Boston, one of my most worn shoes. If you know me for the last, what, 2-3 years, and it's obviously it's in the masses now. You see it all over the place. You normally see it in them kind of really brown shades or sand or taupe or what, in them kind of shades. This is just something a little bit different. It moves it into a different space. It looks like it's cord, which I love. It's not actually cord, it's still suede, it's just made to look like cord. And the colours are really strong, aren't they? One
thing I really like about these is the fact that the outsole matches the uppers.
Yeah.
It's a really, really subtle thing, but I think it makes such a difference, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they just feel really, it feels really summer as well, doesn't it? I mean, the lilac's just bang on for summer, and it gives you something different that you're going to see elsewhere in the market, or completely different. Do you mean? So, really happy that we're actually talking about these up front and talking about these early in this. Do you mean?
And I think we always speak about, like we said, we've got taupe in our collection.
Yeah.
Why would you want another pair of Bostons?
Yeah.
Well, that's why. Like, can you think of anything better for the summer?
No, I'm looking forward to getting one of these on my feet. I mean, you think, oh, this is the easy option, but this is the one I think for the summer, you know.
Yeah. So we're going to finish the episode with something very, very special. And this project reminds me of early days of Size.
Yeah.
Early exclusives when we got the whole store estate involved and we got the communities involved for each city. And this is a project we're going to start with Reebok. And essentially it's where we revisit each store and each city and tell the story of that store and through their lens.
Massive.
And the first two we've got are Brighton and Copenhagen.
Yeah.
I mean, firstly, what a way to start a series.
It just feels really sized. I mean, I've been part of the business a long time, as have you, and it just feels really sized. And taking it back to that community piece, back to the stores, letting them guys have a chance to work on shoes and essentially do what we do on a day-to-day. I mean, like, and what they've come up with is really, really strong. I mean, with the Copenhagen one for me, it takes Cub C into a different space, but again, like we always say, like I said, this should be a bit of one of my catchphrases as well, but it is all about the details, especially with that shoe. You can see on the back, we've got embroidery from landmarks from around Copenhagen. You've got the area code there on the tongue, and I think, again, it's just about dialing up the details on these shoes.
On this shoe, it's really subtle as well, but the details throughout, obviously that slight translucent outsole, the cord dry on there, the premium tumbled leather. I think a lot of the details we're going to leave till we actually communicate the shoes properly.
Because we don't want to ruin it for the stores, do we, really?
Yeah, so we're going to let the stores actually take you through the details, but as you'll notice throughout, and this, like I said, is the first of a whole series, you'll see similar sort of characteristics that make it consistent and feel like that lineage is a pack. So embroidered sort of landmark detail on one foot and then handwritten area code on the other. So you'll see it throughout. Obviously Brighton, I'd say relatively self-explanatory in terms of where they've gone to from a colour palette perspective.
I like to think so, yeah.
But the materials are so good on that shoe.
I just love the graphics as well. So the graphics are going to be a bit of a red thread for the whole collection. We're already working on the next lot of stores, but we'll not reveal what they are yet. And every single one is strong. And you know what I'm really looking forward to is activating these in those cities, because the stores are going to be involved in that, in them activations, and it just brings it back into feeling really sized. I mean, obviously we've got a lot more stores than we initially had, and it's just nice to kind of almost just bring the walls in a little bit and make it really personal again.
Yeah, it does beg the question, because when we sit down with the teams and we go through lots and lots of ideas, like what does your city look like in a shoe?
Yeah.
Because for each one we had so many ideas, and it's really hard to try and find something that's not, I don't say obvious.
Yeah.
People tend to go down the football route quite a lot.
Yeah.
We don't want these shoes to feel obvious and literal. We want them to almost explore something that only that community know, but then can transcend much wider.
Yeah.
So it does beg the question. I'd love to know what people's cities are, what the first thing they think of when their city becomes a shoe.
It's almost like a competition you can put out there. What is your city in a shoe?
Maybe it will be.
Maybe it will be.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the content that got coming through. I'd love to know your thoughts and feedback in the comments. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.